Okay, hello everyone and welcome. Guys, this is day 2 and we're starting with functions for this trimester, okay? We're looking at functions, an input and an output. Guys, our objective today, we're going to identify functions from a table, from a diagram, and from a graph. Is it a function or is it not a function? Here's some examples here. These are functions on the top. And down here, these are not functions. All right, a vertical line is not a function. Every other straight line is a function, but not a vertical line. Anything vertical like that, it's not a function. All right, these are not functions. We'll explain later. Guys, today's essential question, what is a function and how can we identify one? Okay. Guys, let's start with some definitions. First, a relation. A relation, it's a set of ordered pairs. All right, they have input and output values that are corresponding. They're linked together. All right, an input is linked to a particular output. As you can graph a relation on a coordinate plane using the inputs and outputs as x and y's. And that's what we do all the time. The x is the input. The y is the output of the function. Guys, again, a couple definitions. The domain of a relation, it's the set of all inputs, all right, or the x-coordinates. We often call it the x-coordinates. The range is the set of all outputs, all right, or the y-coordinates of the ordered pairs. And we'll look more at these later on, tomorrow or the next day. Guys, another way to show a relation is to use a mapping diagram. We use these quite a bit. It links the elements of the domain with their corresponding elements in the range. It links each output element with its input element with its corresponding output element. And this is okay to have it like this. How they cross like that, that's okay. That's still a function. Guys, a function in particular, it's a type of relation in which each input has exactly one unique output. In other words, each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element in the range. All right, so as an example, these mapping diagrams, these are functions right here. All right, but over here on the right side, these are not functions. You see how the 9 goes to 2 different places? Or you can't have that. You can't have an input go into 2 different outputs. Like this one here, the 3 goes to 2 different places. You can't have that, okay? It is okay to have 2 different inputs, like here the 2 and the -2 go to the same output. That's okay, that's still a function. But you can't have it where the same input goes to 2 different outputs, okay? That's not a function. Okay, sometimes we graph a function, and it may be discrete. All right, discrete is a collection of points. They're individual values. All right? Whereas a graph is sometimes continuous, where we have a function that's like an equation. And we graph it as an uninterrupted line or a curve that just kind of goes on forever. Okay? Guys, one of the best ways to find out if a graphed relation is a function is to use the vertical line test. Once you have a graph, just think of a vertical line going straight up and down. If it touches the curve in 2 places, it's not a function. Whereas this one here, this blue vertical line, if we slid it back and forth and up and down here, it would never touch that red line in more than 1 place. That's a function. Guys, again, when a function is graphed, if it's a function, it should pass the vertical line test. All right, where no vertical line intersects the graph at more than 1 point. Like right here, this is a function. That's kind of like a sine wave. Whereas this one, it touches in 2 places. That's not a function. All right, and this one, kind of the ellipse here, the circle, that's not a function either. That touches in 2 places. That's not a function. Guys, functions are often written like this, that f of x. All right, that's how we say it, f of x. Or we say it like a function f of x. We say it like that, okay? If there's a 3 in there, we might say the value of x is 3, so f of 3. It's read like that, f of 3, all right? And just a note, guys, in this notation, f of x like that, when it's written like that, that does not mean f times x. That's not what that means. That's just a function where x is the input. Okay? All right, guys, that's it. Please complete the homework check. We will look at it in class, too. Guys, today's vocabulary words: relation, domain, range, function, discrete, and continuous. Please know what they are, okay? That's it. Thanks.